The observation dome hummed with the soft vibration of the colony ship's engines, a sound that had become as familiar to Dr. Lyra Kellen as her own heartbeat. She sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor, surrounded by 7 Velcrian cubs whose crystalline eyes watched her with a mixture of fear and fascination. The Velcrians were a proud species, their bodies covered in silver-blue scales that shimmered like moonlight on water. Adults stood nearly 8 feet tall, with razor-sharp talons and teeth designed for tearing. Their empire had spanned 3 star systems before the plague had come, leaving only these children and a handful of traumatized adults. Humanity had found them drifting in a derelict station. The cubs huddled together in the dark, starving and alone. The rescue had been swift, but integration had proven difficult. Velcrian adults, raised in a culture of strength and dominance, could not comprehend human charity. They saw weakness in kindness, conspiracy in aid. But the cubs were different. They had no cultural baggage, only instinct and hunger and the desperate need for safety. "Trust," Lyra said softly, letting the word hang in the recycled air. She spoke in standard galactic, which the cubs were slowly learning. "Does anyone know what this means?" The largest cub, Rin, tilted his head. His scales had dulled from malnutrition, but his eyes remained sharp. "Trust is weakness. Father said humans cannot be trusted because they smile with no fangs." Lyra nodded, unsurprised. "Your father was protecting you the only way he knew how. But trust isn't about fangs or strength. It's about choosing to be vulnerable with someone, believing they won't hurt you." Another cub, smaller and female, chittered nervously. "Vulnerable means prey." "Sometimes," Lyra acknowledged. She reached into her satchel and pulled out a small knife, its blade glinting in the dome's artificial light. The cubs tensed, retreating slightly. "But watch." She placed the knife on the floor between them, then turned her back completely to the group. The cubs fell silent. In Velcrian culture, turning one's back was an invitation to attack, a fatal mistake. Yet Lyra remained still, her spine exposed, her breathing steady. Long seconds passed, then a minute. The cubs exchanged confused glances. Finally, Rin spoke. "Dr. Kellen, why do you not protect yourself?" Lyra turned back around slowly, her movements careful and deliberate. "Because I trust you. I know you won't hurt me." "But we could," Rin insisted, his young voice trembling. "We have claws. You gave us a weapon." "Yes," Lyra agreed, picking up the knife and returning it to her satchel. "You could hurt me. That's what makes it trust. If I knew with certainty that you couldn't harm me, it wouldn't mean anything. Trust is a choice, not a guarantee." The smallest cub crept forward. "Humans are strange. Why would you choose weakness?" Lyra smiled, and this time none of the cubs flinched. "Because trust isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing in the universe. Your people built ships that could cross galaxies, weapons that could shatter moons. But did those things save you from the plague?" The cubs grew quiet. Rin's scales rippled with barely suppressed emotion. "No, nothing saved us. Humans came," Lyra said gently. "We're not stronger than Velcrians. We're not smarter. We don't have scales or claws or the ability to see in 12 spectrums. But we came anyway. Do you know why?" Rin met her gaze. "Why?" "Because we trusted that it was the right thing to do. We trusted that life, any life, is worth saving. We trusted that someday you might trust us back." The female cub made a soft sound, almost like a whimper. "But what if we betray that trust? What if we grow up and become like the adults who say humans are soft and foolish?" Lyra reached out slowly, telegraphing her movement. She placed her hand palm up on the floor, an offering. "Then I'll be disappointed. Maybe hurt, but I'll still be glad I trusted you because the possibility of connection is worth the risk of pain." Rin stared at her hand. In Velcrian custom, touching another's palm was an act of profound intimacy, reserved for family bonds. His whole body trembled. "You don't have to," Lyra said quietly. "Trust can't be forced. It has to be given freely." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Rin moved forward, his smaller 3-fingered hand hovering over hers. When their palms touched, Lyra felt the cool roughness of his scales, the slight tremble of uncertainty. One by one, the other cubs approached. Hands layered upon hands in a pile of scales and skin, predator and prey, old enemies becoming something new. "This feels strange," Rin admitted. "Vulnerable. Like prey." "Yes," Lyra agreed. "And?" He considered this, his crystalline eyes reflecting the stars beyond the dome. "And safe, like pack, like family." That's trust, Lyra said. The session had run long past the cubs' scheduled sleep time. Lyra stood to leave, but Rin made a small sound of distress. Will you stay? Just tonight? It was against protocol. Adult Velcrians had lodged formal complaints about human proximity to their young. But Lyra looked at the 7 pairs of eyes watching her, desperate and hopeful, and knew what her answer would be. Yes, she said simply. I'll stay. She settled back onto the floor, and the cubs arranged themselves around her. Rin curled up closest, his small body pressed against her side, scales overlapping cloth. The others formed a protective circle, their breathing gradually sinking as sleep claimed them. In the morning, when the Velcrian adults came to collect their young, they found a scene that defied their understanding. 7 cubs sleeping peacefully around a human, vulnerable and unguarded, trusting and trusted. Some of the adults growled their disapproval, but others paused, their ancient instincts recognizing something their culture had forgotten. That strength without trust is just violence, and survival without connection is merely existence. Rin woke first, blinking up at the gathered adults.
She stayed, he said simply, wonder in his voice.
She trusted us and we trusted her, and nothing bad happened. It was a small moment in the vast expanse of space. 1 human, 7 cubs, and a lesson that would ripple across a broken species. Trust humanity had shown them was not weakness. It was the first step toward healing.